So I found out there's a random button on mobygames.com, which is a website that has cataloged over 200,000 video games, and I thought, what if we had to not only play, but beat whatever game the digital god of chaos known as mobygames.com could conjure? But a game without stakes is like a man without garbanzo beans. Boring. So I decided that we'd only have as many tries as the game has difficulty stars on GameFAQs.com to beat a random video game, or else I'll have to spin the wheel of the world's hottest peppers and eat whatever the gods of chaos deem hot enough to punish me. I call this type of challenge run a chaos dungeon. I'll be visiting a haunted mansion as a certain alliterative mascot, and if I don't beat at least half of it, half the game in 5 tries, I will write and perform a rap as Dangerous Dave. If I don't beat the whole game before 5 game overs, roll the intro. This face looks familiar somehow. Could this be foreshadowing? And whoa, the gods of chaos have been merciful. This game was made by John Carmack and John Romero. Those guys made Doom. It looks like Dangerous Dave has a shotgun too, so you know we're in for it. So anyway, we start the game outside the eponymous haunted mansion, and we have to hop over this iron rock gate, even though it looks like the gate is open. We'll assume the owner has force field technology. But this already is a great sign for the fairness of this game, because the first time the game requires you to jump, it's in a completely safe area. And that's good, because we only have 5 tries. But what does 5 tries mean for this game? Well, it turns out it has lives, so I made the call that we'd lose this blind challenge if we ran out of all lives 5 times. That's 5 game overs. Anywho, so here we are giving some zombies some lead fill-ins like a dentist with a gun, and I quickly learned that you can shoot enemies from the floor below, thereby neutralizing them from a safe distance. I make a rule for myself right there. Before going upstairs, shoot enemies from below. This rule will never be broken. What's in here? Wow, 100 points in the closet. I'm no geometrician, but mine only has 8. Get it? Because vertices are points in a rectangular prism? So we want points because the manual tells me that 10,000 points equals 1 extra Dave. Flown in tech is expensive. Breaking my only rule immediately, I go upstairs without killing the enemies there first. This is where I first encountered the gremlin, goblin, hunchback enemy, who sort of looks like an old lady with a mustache. I don't know it yet, but this enemy will be my greatest nemesis and will chew through double Ds faster than a flashlight in tornado season in an Alan Wake game. You'll see why shortly. So, we continue to make meat pinatas yield their confetti entrails. What's this? The game is literally giving me blue balls? 400 points. Well, it should be in... Surprise! The mustachioed old lady is waiting at the other side for us, but we dispatch her with a few kind words. Oh, Her friend can't go down the stairs, so we are definitely using our take out enemies from the platform below rule on these, right? Wrong. I don't yet appreciate the power of these grandmas and... Did you see that? They can throw daggers at you, and you only have 1 hit point. I didn't know that. Oh, this is gonna be much harder than I thought. Plus the zombies were acting as a meat shield. 2 Daves left, but remember, we have to use up all our lives to use up a Trine. That's the game over. So anyway, we collect points to get closer to an extra life and dispatch the dead with more shotgun therapy, this time taking out a grandma from across the gap. We get to the spot our previous Double D died and approach them slower this time. It seems that enemies only spawn or aggro when you're close to them, so I approach pixels at a time in order to take them out one at a time. Here she comes. This time I jump over both the grandma's nail files and rob her of her life.
Someone help! Shut up, you old pig!
First level complete. At this time, I didn't know this, but there are 8 levels in this game, so we have officially beat 12.5% of the game with 2 Daves left and 5 continues, and 5 hints. I forgot to mention this, but it'd be too easy to use a walkthrough constantly, so I'm allowing myself 30 seconds of walkthrough video or text 5 times throughout this challenge.
The gray, vaguely floral Victorian wallpaper of level 1 gives way to the exposed, seemingly charred wooden boards of level 2. Things are visually darker. I intuit things will be harder now. I take my blue ball and exchange it for $400. I spot a rogue grandma but jump off the stairs anyway. Another grandma. We're surrounded, but it's the slime that kills me. Embracing my face with Nickelodeon slime, green acid. 1 day of life left. So naturally this time, I do bet. Basically, I thought the grandma behind me couldn't spawn behind me from where I was. A fuck up. No days. All up to this one before we burn our first continue. This time, I killed those doting demons to the left. I prayed this bullet won't be stopped by the crate. It ain't. This grandma roves some crates, jealously guarding its seemingly centrifugally balanced gemstone, which I take from her. I enter a door and emerge at some elsewhere, stupidly shooting at what is clearly a bird-beaked totem pole half finished. Mario coin-like gems hover in midair to give me the courage to navigate this new obstacle. This design is looking fair. Miyamoto's fingerprints are all over this. Kill a zombie and... saved. Go through another door and there's more steel voodoo totems, this one hanging from the ceiling. This guy reminds me of the robot dog from Wallace and Gromit. That guy scared the sheesh out of me as a kid. Childhood nightmares thus swimming under and nibbling upon my consciousness. I panic when Grandma serves up the 3-knife special, and end up putting my giant bobblehead-esque head directly under the hanging thread of Mr. Spider's swift mercy, thus ending my first continue, leaving 4 to go. The game boots me back to the title screen's Dangerous Dave's proto-troll meme-like face, Cheshire Cat smile, and Disney villainy eyebrows daring me to be cool enough to be manipulated into aiming my headlights once again at the proverbial cliff in a proverbial game of chicken in which much masculinity points are not only on the line, but even up for dispute. And so I load from the beginning of the game, there being apparently no save system. My previous 3 lives allowed Gen 2 Dave to actually respect the power of staying on a platform below the enemy as you shoot them. and generally things go without a hitch, hockey and twist, except Grandma writes us a check for the Death Express. Again, I'm learning to shoot at enemies which are out of reach of killing you. I dodge Grandma's triple knife special. And then some. Taking out enemies from safely below again, and taking every bauble, grimcrack, and googa I can get my pale paws on. I beat the first level, this time with 7,100 points, 2,900 away from a Dave clone, and with 2 lives and 4 continues remaining. For some reason, I cleared the first floor in the most dangerous way possible, staying on the ground instead of the crate. Then I killed the Nickelodeon slime for revenge. But I forgot about this grandma over here and perished pointedly. 1 day remains. This time I double knife dodge my way into killing my latest murderer. Go through the door and learn to camp on top of the totem pole to risklessly take out Grandma. But there's always more grandmas from where that came from. I find my childhood nightmare room and this time refuse to be invited to dinner at Mr. Spider's, killing him and netting my first extra life / Dave clone. We're in new territory, baby. I'm too scared to risk overhopping this totem pole into a zombie's healthy appetite, so I give up and go the other way, finding a door forward. A new room that I accidentally jumped into the blood pit of, managing to survive. But there's a secret grandma in the corner with some words she'd like to share with us. We take out a spider the only way I know how, with a shotgun. Take out a crate granny and a Nickelodeon slime, rewarded for our efforts with a paltry 200 points. Then issuing a noise complaint to the neighbors upstairs. A new room. Going right, I just dodge a grumpy Grammy by using a steel totem pole as cover. It occurs to me that a totem pole can also be used as an impenetrable watchtower. I find the spider's totem pole much less actually there. I kill an enemy off screen. I kill Nickelodeon and decide to go to level 3. With 2 days left, 4 continues, and 5 hints, we had gotten 1/4 of the way through the game. Level 2 city wooden boards have given way to Byzantinely arranged stone bricks with notable exceptions. I cross the gap and am rewarded with a shooting gallery of the usual suspects. Their scented candles are mine. More in the back, we find industrial steel safes with coat hangers inside. Do your friends constantly steal your clothes? But anyway, they're not locked, they're just paid for, so we end up getting Dave a clone. I intuit that hat below will yield another life. Anyway, we hop down a giant test tube and give a zombie something to chew on. Take out his friend from across the Vietnam War style spike trap which the owner of this mansion apparently found tacky enough to have. We jump over it and take out the mansion's owner's twice removed nephew. We take out his on-staff plumbers and steal their minimum wage. A duchess is in the bath. We need to get in there without dying. She throws some washcloths at me, and I make some calculations of how to get through the bathroom without offending the duchess's expectation for privacy. I decide that hopping off the edge of the bathtub before she can see me is the most gentlemanly thing to do. Somehow, I manage to avoid talking to Uncle Greg in the hallway and manage to steal a candy bar from the Duchess's secret stash. But this necessitates going back through the bathroom where the Duchess impales me, seeing my chocolate-stained lips. 2 lives left because of some one-ups. Well, I attend the usual shooting gallery and take all the goodies. Then I jump back down this brackish test tube. I get back to the Duchess's unfortunately hallway servant bathroom and manage to dodge a loofah. Uncle Greg does not want to talk. Every survivor agrees. The gems did lead me into the siren's hideous nest. After some trying, I determined that the only way to attack them was from the sad platform. After a little flirting from both sides, I determined to marry them, thus ending their lives. I guess you can say it's a shotgun. So we killed more plumbers while dressed sorta similarly to a more famous plumber, getting the remaining gem. It takes some doing, but we managed to recreate Romeo and Juliet's balcony scene before taking out some of the orbiting handmaids. We discover an irate spinster who doth not have a kind word about us. Likewise. Bye-bye, blue ball possessing knave. Oh, what? There's a Vietnam War pit down here too? I have to know to exit right here, even though I can't see it up here. 2 days left. Still 4 continues. We do our usual song and jig, navigating the Duchess's bath, but we fall down and have to do it again, this time with more splashing. Eventually, we get back to the sirens and institute quiet time. Juliet proves demure. I decide to explore the attic, but Jacob is there, and he does not look like Taylor Lautner. So I decide to try my turns-outedly stupid good luck. Eventually coming to an enemy-less jump. I make it to heretofore unseen chambers. Susie is too scared to turn out her nightlight, so I do it for her, only to be taken out by a friendly punch on the arm in the hallway. The gems had been a trap. 1 Dave left. One up, 2 Daves. Duchess avoided. Only to forget about Uncle Greg's propensity for interminable hallway chats. 1 Dave left. We nearly catch a shampoo bottle in the noggin, but pass the Duchess with relatively intact social standings. Greg will not be talking with us today. We silence the sirens. We find a clone of myself in a spider's thorax, and decide to brave the attic. But Taylor Lautner nearly smooches us. Hard. So we decide to not be Team Jacob and check in on other friends. I avoid a couple sharply worded rebukes and find myself unable to remember how to jump into this pit without disemboweling myself. 1 Dave, 4 continues. Duchess ain't muchus. Take Greg down a pig. Miss the Duchess's candy bar stash many times as I'm hypoglycemic and need to clone myself. Sirens. Down. Mr. Spider almost my new death hat, but instead becomes my new ceiling paint. Dodge. But not this one. I think I need a different grandma. 0 days left, but we get another one. But we have a bath time oopsie. No days left. Will we lose another continue? Or are there enough antiques in Daddy's mansion to sell on Craigslist? The mathematicians are sweating. But we fall in love with the siren and starve on the rocks. My new high score suggests I'm getting better, but we only have 3 continues left with 6 levels to go. This is looking pretty dismal. I was starting to believe the people on GameFAQs about their difficulty rating. The peppers loomed large on the horizon. so I decided to take a break and sit on this until tomorrow. It's a new day, and I'm hungry for a hamburger surprise. We ascend the great Deku Tree's crackhead cousin, Craig, and hop into the Dave clone-littered mansion whose magic closets always have more to steal. We're much better about shooting the shit with the elderly from a safe distance, lest their outdated takes on racial minorities prove fatal. The first level goes smoothly in that I don't die. But I do my darnest to as soon as I regain control. After this, things start to go better. In fact, things are going so well that I feel comfortable putting a haven't died yet timer on screen. We get a 1-up having pilfered enough knickknacks and paddywhacks to give a Dave a bone. 4 lives. We're good about camping this Wallace and Gromit totem pole to safely give Grandpa a haircut. But much like Grandpa, I forgot about Grandma. 3 days left, again. Unfortunately, the next Dave clone had a bad case of being an idiot. 2 days left. This time, we don't forget about Grandma.
Aunt May wants to know our favorite Final Fantasy, and she does not like our answer.
1 Dave left, with 5,000 points to a 1-up. You know what would really hit the spot right now? A Chinese knockoff of a popular soda pop. 1-up! Grandma tries to give me acupuncture from behind, so I make my back scarce and send her an article about how it's actually pseudoscience. I lure Grandma to my Wallace and Gromit nightmare pool, tell her about my latest special interest, and she turns off her hearing aids. I am able to surmount this W&GNP for the first time. A whole other part of my grandparents' house has revealed itself to me. Chocolate and blue ball abound. I'm about 2,000 away from another double D payday. An embarrassing memory about shitting in a swimming pool rears its green head in the stew of my consciousness. I do not survive. 1 Dave left, but only 600 points away from a new clone. I'm learning that I don't have to put myself in harm's way to talk to relatives for a new clone. I almost need that new clone immediately because Grandma is not happy with my report card. Fortunately, she proves amenable to not existing. My attempt to lure Aunt May away from the fridge from which I already ate her leftover strawberry banana yogurt gets me grounded. 1 Dave left. This Dave clone wants a haircut. Grandma takes the close shave he asked for a little too literally. I braved the top of this pole for the second time. I have an audience of hot dads this time. Being pole mounted, the urge to dance is strong. I send everyone to jail for life. This proves profitable. The spider on the ceiling is allergic to shotguns. Another day, another Dave. 2 Daves now, still 3 continues left. God damn, yesterday I beat this level in like my first few tries, now I burn a continue on it. I'm beginning to suspect that my name has been graffiti scrawled on a now not so organic spicy pepper. Fear will not allow me to consider the possibility of a Dangerous Dave cap being turned backwards on my head for a Dangerous Dave rap. Oh fuck that rhyme. Grandma costs me for leaving the TV on. She thinks I'm aiming the remote. Things are going well. Instead of going through the door to level 3 like a sensible coward, I go down to the drug den to give in to peer pressure and die a different kind of coward. 1 Dave left, but we're close to clone. One up, 2 Daves. Oh my god, I can't believe I have to keep making new jokes for the same level. This is looking dire. Strict Dads 2.0, the re-jailening. Grandma asked why I always dress like a hobo. I remind her who bought me this shirt. 1 up, another Dave, another $10,000. I refuse to eat Grandma's lasagna. She doesn't take it well. The lasagna isn't too happy either. After grabbing some goodies, I decide to dare to be different than my delinquent peers and not smoke crack. It's like my dad always used to say, kids who smoke crack don't get to level 3. 3 days and $3,500 until we can make this trio into a barbershop quartet.
Quartet we get, but John Lennon met a phony fan who killed the man in the red hunting hat. After a lengthy back and forth, we publish an interview exposing he who won't be named as a phony seeking fame. Later I call my Gen X uncle a boomer and he reacts how you'd expect. But we forget about the long leg of the law. 2 days remain. Make that 3. We have everything down to mad science at this point. The main danger to our Dave is the sirens, which necessitate careful maneuvering. Oh, and Mr. Off-Screen Spider here must be memorized and evaded by jumping to the right lest you become lunch. Perhaps high on not dying, I decide to try the attic where they keep Taylor Lautner when he dons his fursuit. His persona proves no match for my Edwardian fanfiction. Team Jacob shows me in the comments. I get blue-balled by a blue ball, symbolizing my sexual frustration with opposing viewpoints. Ultimately, I decide that deleting Jacobian comments is more important to me than getting high on my own supply. One particularly toxic user keeps making new comments but stops when we agree that both of them are cleared by Master J. This turns into a whirlwind romance which ends in the birth of another Dave. Being a father isn't easy, but it has its bright spots. 5 Daves. Sometimes it requires a leap of faith, but thinking of my family acts like a pause buffer and gets me through. We're further than we've ever been. And sure, there's the in-laws to deal with, and the mortgage, your recent gallstone, and the dirty diapers. But for every negative, every trial, there's also another run of the corporate ladder to climb and cling to. And as you suck up to every person above you, you remember that this is the life you chose, and your only regret is that you didn't have more mouths to suck with. What would you even do if you got to the top? You don't know. Your family has more than enough money now, college funds are on lock, but still you work. They beg you to take some time off, but they don't understand that everything you do is for them. The ladder isn't some carrot on a stick, some badge of ego or compensation for suffering. It's the ascendancy of your children to social strata you couldn't even imagine as a boy contortionist working for a circus all those years ago. You expect gratitude, instead you're met with, "You're not here for the family." You expect respect, instead you're met with whining. You expect love, and instead you're met with indifference. And when you finally climb to the very top, you realize that you missed everything, and for what? Numbers that you never have time to cash in. You realize that all of this time you've been contorting yourself to fit into a different kind of circus while your kids grew up without you, and that you are only as successful as you are alone. But hey, at least you made it to level 4! If we beat this level, we officially do not have to do a Danger Stave rep. Anyway, here we come to the first boss, who's literally just Frankenstein's monster wearing Doc Martens and Mario overalls. His severe manner and long upper lip remind me of Antoine Ego from Ratatouille. Like any good critic, he shoots balls of lightning from his mouth. Like any good artist, I take his criticism way too personally. Fortunately, the game spawns us right back in his lair after we die. Unfortunately, his sick burns get to me. 3 days. Like any respectable coward, I try to pause buffer cheese this fight. But unfortunately, the key to pause was tab, and I accidentally tabbed out of my game in the middle of the boss fight, killing me. Then it spawned me back in this room immediately with my window still minimized. I tried to pause in a panic, but he was already pretty close. I made it full screen again and tried to escape, but he burned me for being a cowardly noob. So far, this tabbing out mistake has cost me 2 days. This time I immediately jump before he can get close and shoot him in the bum. I tried pause buffering again and am met with instant karma. By the time I get my window back up, Frankenstein's monster has dashed and dined. No Daves left. I tried to pause as I was trying to shoot, which I realized resulted in the window being minimized. Of course, Alt was shoot and Tab was pause. This resulted in another death. Did the Johns do this on purpose to deter cheaters? Strategists. My skeleton was left to wonder, or was it an unfortunate coincidence? Either way, I was down to continue, having only made it halfway through the game, and furthermore, I had to start the game from the very beginning. Or so I thought. It turns out you get to start from level 3, so naturally I spent a long time trying to remap the pause button so that I could cheese without alt-tabbing. But this proved ultimately fruitless, and nothing I tried worked. I even tried to disable alt-tab on Windows, and it worked, but not in the game. So I gave up and decided this was the game's way of telling me to not cheese it with a pause buffer. So I jumped back into level 3. We managed to get 2 lives in Jacob's attic without dying, and I make it all the way back to the boss unscathed and ready to serve Ratatouille. 5 chefs left. We managed to dodge his comment about the hors d'oeuvres twice. We hit him with the house's most expensive wines, and dodged criticisms about the thread count of his tablecloth. But after spending too long reading the house specials, he gets us in a corner, calling our service lackluster. We try again, but it turns out our waiter's apron was tied with a double knot. A fatal mistake. 3 days. Out of desperation, I try pause buffering again very carefully, but pause buffering can't make up for the idiocy of an undercooked filet mignon. 2 days. This time I hit him with a smorgasbord of complimentary hors d'oeuvres, but I still can't overvault his towering expectation. 1 day. I pause to catch my breath, but we are punished for hitting the Windows key by mistake. I pray I didn't also unpause, but I did. This is a new Dave, and we have no Daves left. Thankfully, there's just enough time to leapfrog this green boss and shoot him where the sun don't shine. Oh! In order to dodge the lightning, I had to forego leapfrogging. We spend continue and must begin again from level 3. We haven't even made it halfway through the game, and we only have 1 try left. The impending incineration of my every last taste bud seemed all but tattooed on my future tongue. But I still had hope to avoid a danger stave wrap. There are only 8 levels in the game. I could make it past level 4 and save my dignity, spurred on by the licking flames of probable failure but expectant success. I wondered if I was riding a dark horse or a high one. In Lautner's attic, I get a 1-up, but it's short-lived, meaning I'm still at 3 lives. At this point, I decide to consult a walkthrough as I forgot I was allowed to do that and still had all 5 hints remaining. It was here that I learned the crucial piece of tech that you can shoot down the Frankenstein's critiques. This made staying on the top platform the entire boss fight the safest strategy, whereas without this tech it was impossible. Furthermore, I found out that the boss fight counted as the entire level, meaning if we can kill Frankenstein's Antoine Ego, we will have officially beaten half the game in 5 tries, thus saving us from the embarrassment of a danger stave wrap. Heartened by this invaluable info, I resumed my trek through Heck with renewed confidence. After a trip to Jacob's attic, we're at Abbey Road, Daves. We make it back to the boss with little trouble. Now I get the chance to try out my new stand-up-for-yourself tech, getting in my own passive-aggressive remarks when I can. Until he literally caught me slipping. But it was too late. I had already shown him the dessert menu. Level 5, no danger stave wrap. Level 5, no danger stave wrap, no backwards turn hat, no cap. Now about that pepper. Level 5's border looks like a Minesweeper game unplayed. Its generic look is belied by its hauntings. My bullet went right through him. This seemed impossible already. 3 days, no continues. Confused as how to defeat the ghost, and with 4 hints left to burn, I decide to use a walkthrough. It turns out if you just keep shooting, you'll kill him right when he turns corporeal enough to drink your soul. Hint well spent. 3 left. I try this but panic when I see it's the ghost of my Steam backlog. 2 days, 148 games in the backlog. This time I panic less and am able to beat a short hike. The next floor looks pretty easy as it's filled with walk-in simulators. Beating Stanley's Parable by touching grass gets me my life back. Dear Esther, rest in peace. Fearing the pepper, I fire blindly into the unknown. Gone Home is an amazing game. Seriously, go play it, no joke. I camp the stairs like a sensible coward. Next floor. I'm beginning to believe. I take advantage of an opening in the floor, rendering the next floor a parade venue for my success. Or so I thought to stand my ground and shoot. So I fall down the stairs and join the ghosts. 2 days. Somehow I manage to get turned around and don't finish Sarah Escapes Zero Time Dilemma, aptly enough. 1 day. This time I remain calm and carry a Dota 2 match. That doesn't help my backlog, but it is in my Steam library. Perhaps too eager to get through Edith Finch, I almost don't make it. I lure some enemies to the stairs and almost get sucked into a JRPG. I'm tempted by some Steam sales but beat Balatro on Gold Stake instead. I clear the haunted parade venue from a distance and prepare for a ghost float. That's not Snoopy! I linger on the threshold of never-before-explored floor, anticipating ghosts, but getting Crusader Kins on sale. No Daves. We will have to play perfectly from now on. I'm locking in. Yeah, we've gone further than we've ever been. This is starting to look like we're gonna make it. This is starting to look like we're gonna get killed by an off-screen spider and end the run. Well, I guess it's time to spin that pepper wheel. Alright, so this wheel has some of the hottest peppers in the world, and I also added a jalapeno, so, you know, not all the options are complete hell, but let's see what we get here. And that's the Trinidad scorpion pepper. One of the hottest in the world. I have to look up how hot. Well, it was the 6th hottest, but I couldn't find this anywhere online to buy. So I ended up switching it out for the 3rd hottest pepper instead. Okay, so here are the peppers. This got 2 million Scoville units. I think that's like hundreds of times hotter than the jalapeno peppers. So here they are. They look like Satan's shriveled testicles, and I guess we're gonna eat them. So here we go. We got ice cream and milk. But actually, I'm not going to swallow this because I heard people say if you have acid reflux, it's just gonna come up all night and you're not gonna sleep. And I kind of want to sleep tonight. I'm just gonna chew on it for as long as I can. And here we go. Gosh, I'm so scared. I don't want to do this. It's not as bad as I thought, but it is exponentially increasing. Oh yeah, that's pretty painful. I might have to spit it out soon. Okay, now, yeah, I feel like I'm being tortured. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna to wait as long as possible before ice cream. Oh my god, I'm wearing a boys don't cry shirt, but we'll see. Look at that. I might have to eat this soon. Oh, it's so painful. It's like breathing fire. Oh my god. Yeah, it's all I can take. I gotta eat this. Oh, is this helping? Yes. Is it helping as much as I was hoping? No. Holy fuck. Oh my god, my nose is running so bad. I haven't got any clicks. I should have thought that it's actually even more painful now. So what I'm trying to do is keep the milk as long in my mouth as I can because I could barely talk. Have I been in more pain than this before? Yes. But it's close. It's almost worse when you drink milk. Because it goes away and then it comes back full force. Oh my god. I'm never doing this again. At least I get ice cream. Okay. It's starting to get a little bit better. It's still super painful though. Whew. It seriously feels like I'm putting my tongue on a stove. Like I'm getting stung by a bunch of bees. It feels like if I kissed somebody right now, they would like literally erupt into flames before my eyes. Being said, I thought it might even be worse. Like I'd have to get to the hospital or something. So overall, I'd consider this a win. Probably gonna have to throw up soon. Next time on Chaos Dungeon.